Hey, YouTube.
and
Hey,
grandma.
hey, 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 hey. So, before we start,
Oh, and he go. Look at this. See, see this, see this forever right here. Um, yeah,
I'm back. Before we start the sister review, Jasmine, she wanted to talk about this. She keep telling me about this. Go ahead.
because okay. Let me take the floor because I want to talk about two things before we get into the video, and I apologize for getting off topic so early in the video. But hey, his auntie borrowed $10 from him 3 years ago. Now he's one of these, that's my auntie, do do do. So he gave her the money, and she never gave him his money back. And he never asked about the money. He never brought up the money. He just let the money go because he feel like it's just $10. But yet his staff, who I'm not gonna name because I ain't no name dropper. His staff brought him a free roll blunt, y'all. That cost the same amount that his auntie just borrowed from him 3 years ago. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna give my staff his money back." Do 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 do. And I'm like, "Well, why did you
That,
not get
but
your
that's
money back
but
from
th- but
her?"
that but that's what cause that's what I do. I let me explain something to you. I Let me explain something to y'all. I don't like to borrow, but doing but due to the circumstances of me being not broke, but I don't want to spend my savings account money. So I'm gonna spend like $60 of it, but I'm gonna put it back. But anyway, anywho, I just don't want to spend unnecessary money.
But it was necessary for you to get the blunt, but it's unnecessary for you to like, please help me, because he said I don't want to spend unnecessary money, but he don't have a problem taking the blunt though. He just don't have no problem doing this right here. How y'all doing? And before we get to the video, I want to talk about one other thing, just real quick and painless. Me and this guy right here is not a YouTube couple, because soon as these couples start talking about creating couples channels and putting all their life on YouTube and that to do, they break up.
They
Eh,
always they do. They break up.
We
We
we are
we
not
we
that.
we had a couples channel which we decided to delete it.
Yeah, we decided to delete that because we don't mind sharing certain things with y'all, but we just not those kinds of people to have all our personal relationship business all on the internet. Because soon as these couples do that, and I'm not saying that that's a contributing factor to a lot of these couples breaking up, but it is a factor because
Because
y'all put too much out there. Y'all sharing everything.
and
Doing it.
it's not even just that, like pranking your cup pranking your pranking, like they go way too far with the
And
pranks and
some
all
of
that
these
stuff.
pranks be how they really feel about their mate, and they be disguising it as a prank. That's just my opinion. Cause some of these pranks, boy, you prank me like that, we go break up for real. Cause
No,
like
no,
all
no.
these fake breakup pranks is ridiculous. You, a prank is supposed to be a joke, but at the same time, your relationship is not that, or it's not supposed to be that. God willing, anyway. I would never do a prank on him on the internet. Now I have done it behind closed doors, and some of them are hilarious. And I almost fell out of my bed, but I'm not gonna bring that to the camera because that stuff is dangerous. Like I don't even like playing jokes on him like that. I don't. I
And
don't.
I got Jasmine behind closed doors, but on the
Like
camera, no.
we do that kind of stuff. We play with each other, but we know where to stop. These couples be leaving breakup notes and all like it's so
Like
elaborate.
I'll give you a story time, quick. I put a prank on Jasmine because I had to go to the wheelchair place to get my wheelchair fixed. And I told her, I said, you gotta wait until you gotta wait until I get home for me to tell you. She was bugging the fuck out of me all day. I was dying laughing because I just thought it was funny that she just kept saying, "What is it? What is it? What is it? What is it?" She kept blowing my phone up. I'm like, you're gonna have to wait until I get home. So I purposely did that, and I was cracking up.
Sidebar. Why
So
he telling
so
this
so.
story? Sidebar. For those of you that know me, you know that I hate surprises. I look. I don't surprise
Yeah,
me.
she hates surprises, which not gonna say anything. But she was like, "Tell me, tell me, tell me." I'm like, "Nah, you gotta wait till I get home." I deliberately did that on purpose. So when I got home, I played the prank to where I told her that Brianna was pregnant. It,
And I was like, she how old? She pregnant from who? What she pregnant at? When she had time to do that?
so fast forward. I am dying on the phone because she is yelling. She is yelling. I am dying on the
I'm going
phone, and then
all kinds of ham. I'm screaming, yelling. He's probably on the other end of the phone, dying, trying not to hear me catch him laughing.
I had to put my
Yeah, I have some
phone.
breadsticks.
I had to
I'm
put my. I had to put my phone on mute like twice because I could not hold it in. And then I was like, baby. It's she was like, what the hell you want? I was like, babe, it's a prank. It's a prank.
it,
She was like, what the fuck you mean? I'm like, babe, it's a prank. 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 I'm like, babe,
I'm like, what the man, man, y'all? Because y'all, let me tell
I,
y'all something before we get to this video. I'm very mild mannered. I'm very chill. I'm very laid back. I don't start no trouble, but I do have a temper, and I don't seen too much Maury Povich and too much Jerry Springer to know that when a man says, "I got some theory," it's more than likely it ain't good. So that's what he kept doing. He was like, I got something to tell you. I got something to tell you. And I'm like, man, just gonna tell me whatever, whatever. Just gonna do it, whatever, whatever. And he's just like, no, no. Just wait, just wait. You'll find out. And I'm just sitting there going, if he don't tell me already. And so, like he said, when he got home, he did the, hey man, she my best friend is pregnant and it might be mine. I said, who got who? I said, huh? I said, no ma'am. No, sir, no ma'am. Like, but anyway, y'all, as soon as Bay come back, and which is now, we about to get into the sisters review because I know y'all waiting. But we just had to tell that story.
I
Hashtag,
had to because it was just too hilarious not to.
hashtag, don't play with a Virgo like that. Hashtag,
Has
we will be plotting for the get back. Okay, we
she
yep.
still and she still ain't got me back yet, but I'm waiting.
We it's coming. Cause,
I'm waiting
cause,
for the get back because you still ain't got me back. But
'cause
anyway, let's get into this system review because let me Tyler Perry Tyler. Why would you put why would you put Fatima and Karen in a room together?
right,
Why would you do that, Tyler? Tyler, like Tyler, man. You lucky that and like
mm,
never like Tyler, you put them in a room together.
mm,
I don't know why and what for and who did. Like you knew
my,
that was going to end badly. Go ahead, go ahead.
my
I'm
thing is, Tyler Perry, why do you write professional women acting like hood rats? I don't know. What was the like? What was the purpose of Karen, quote unquote, talking to Fatima? Like, she's still with Zach. They still gonna do their thing. They still gonna be in a relationship. So, what was the purpose of that? That was a ghetto mess. I thought I was watching a scene from the Jerry
exactly.
Springer show. I really thought I was watching a scene from Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
And these are professionals. This is a
Yeah.
workplace. What in the love and hip hop Atlanta is going on here? Like Tyler, do better.
Yes, do better. Do better. Do better. And I think you are gonna do better because from Ashley Miller, cause that's where I get my resources from. From Ashley Miller, she said that you about to start having writers in your writers room. You need them like real bad. You need them yesterday
And
because
and thank God because Lordy, Karen, baby, I'm gonna need you to get this thing called common sense and move the hell on with your life.
move, move. No, better yet, move on like Maya. I'm moving on, moving on.
Because
You need to do that. You need to do that, Karen. Moving on.
because
I am moving on.
don't you realize that Zach ain't worth all this hell? Y'all up here fighting. Y'all up here. You mad at Fatima and you don't even know her. Don't know her from Adams. You just mad. How can you be mad at somebody you don't know? I don't understand. See, but that's the typical stuff. The women always go at each other instead of going at Zach and playing ring around the rosy poppy full of posy. Y'all sitting up here fighting each other over a man who ain't worth it.
Right.
You,
Zach, because let me tell you, let me say this, babe. Zach ain't even worth the paper he's printed on because all he want is the push.
I mean, and Zach, honey, Zach,
Oh,
that
oh yeah, and Zach, stop telling people that you got all this money. What is your problem, Tyler? I gotta go back to you. Why would you let? Why nobody? If 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 somebody had that a significant amount of money, which I don't know how much money he got because I forgot, and I got weed brain, so yeah. But it's real significant in and you made him go back. You made him go into the bank to where the messy queen was there, and
Tyler Perry. These,
hey,
first of all, next episode, Zach's account is going to be frozen. So, which means he's not going to have access to the $1.4 million. Now, Tyler Perry, you know this is unprofessional to have Zach go to a bank where his ex friend works. That's not
Exactly. This is unprofessional all across the board. Because first off, there was no verification. They just put it in his account. And like I'm saying, they like let's say I got a check for $200. They have to my bank they have to verify that. They're like Tyler, like
why is it that out of all the banks in Atlanta, you gonna have him go to Sabrina Bank and work with Sabrina? Not only go to Sabrina's bank, but work with Sabrina as far as getting this money in his account. That's a conflict of all type of interest, child.
yeah,
You can't do that. Like
right.
what? Why? Why? And why are you writing Zach to get rich all of a sudden? Like, why are you writing this typical poor man rags to riches story when it's not going to turn out the way that people think it's going to turn out? It's going to turn out that something is wrong with the money and he's going to end up in jail. Look, Tyler,
He's going to jail. He's
like,
going to jail. I know. He
you're,
got to. He gonna be locked up.
you're
Locked up.
getting people hopes up with this Zach thing, and he's really just a bum with some extra money. Like he don't have no education. He don't have a job now because he quit his job when he got the stock tip. Not when it hit. When he got the actual tip, he quit his job. Which you're never supposed to quit your job because you can go back to poor just as fast as you got rich. Especially when you're dealing with stocks and bonds and all that kind of stuff, you can go back to poor in an instant. So he doing buying all these cars that he know he can't afford. Like when his account gets frozen, they're gonna repossess all that. All them suits gonna have to go back. The watches going back to the store. Like all of this is just finna go bad. It's finna go real bad. And I like Zach. People think I hate Zach. It's not that I hate Zach. It's just that you're not teaching Zach anything because he hasn't worked for
Right.
anything. Like you
Right.
gave him a woman that held him down. You gave him a place to stay because even when Karen was mad at him, he always went to Danny's house. Zach has never really struggled to where he had to be completely on his own and didn't have help. People go through that in life to where they don't have help like that at every turn. Zach has had
Exa-
help at every
exactly.
single
Just
turn.
exactly. Just like me. For example, me, Tyler. I'm gonna get into my own self a little bit. I, I can't call my family and ask them, "Can I sleep at their house?" You know why? Because they're gonna look at me like, "Well, what are you doing with your money?"
You know how they gonna look at him, the little family that he does have. Despite him being in a wheelchair, if he called them up right now and said, "Hey, I need a place to sleep, my house is whatever, whatever," they gonna look at him like, "Boy, bye." Click. They're not gonna help him. They gonna be like, "No, you a grown man, right? So figure it out." And Zach has never had to figure it out because everybody always dun 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 trying to save Zach because they feel bad for him because of his
Exactly.
situation, and it just doesn't make sense to where it. People don't get handouts throughout life like that.
And on, man.
That don't happen. And like Zach, you have to Zach have to hit rock bottom. Cause Zach's
That's the,
ego
but you
is
know
too
what?
big.
But But you know what? That's the same thing I said. But Tyler not gonna make him hit rock bottom.
Because if Zach screws over one good woman, you give him another. Zach blows a bunch of money and don't go to work, don't pay his bills, you give him a stock tip. Like it's like he gets rewarded for he gets rewarded for
For
missteps. And people
yeah,
don't get rewarded for missteps. You gotta pay for your missteps in life. And Zach has not. He has not paid for
right.
any.
Like for example, you want to know where I misstepped? Going to a motherfucking group home. That was my misstep. And I'm not talking about my group home experience. Go back in my videos because I'm not talking about it. But that's but that's where I misstep. We all gotta pay for our missteps, and I grew my baby when she said he's not even paying for his missteps.
Cause like Zach can pretty much do whatever he wants. And he will get some kind of pass. Like, I'm gonna talk about Fatima in a minute. Because that's a whole Fatima, what is wrong with you? Are you okay? Are you stupid? Are you slow? Are you dumb? Let me know which one you is.
Yeah, because why like I wouldn't even got into it with Karen. Like like I like you and everything, but I gotta call the bullshit out. Fatima, why would you get into it with Karen? Like you're up here. Karen has a whole hair salon that doesn't do any business. So I would she she can't compete with. Let me explain something to you, Fatima. She can't compete where she doesn't compare because from what I've seen, and my baby can correct me, she don't never have no customers.
Fatima, this is what I'm gonna tell you, baby. First of all, you work at a law firm. You you are studying to be what Andy is, which is a lawyer. Even though I'm gonna get on her in a second, because Lord Jesus Christ, you are studying to be a lawyer. You are in law school. Why are you fighting with your man's ex? Let let his ex have him and go on about your life. It's plenty of men that are not involved with their exes anymore that you can be with. You going through all this for what? When you didn't have this problem before Zach came into your life. Now you out here fighting people. You out here forgiving actions that you know you shouldn't be forgiving. That's ridiculous. Like
Yeah,
when Zach did that with Karen in the closet in the office, that would have been it for me. That'll be all. That'll be all.
that would have been a wrap. Period.
But this is
and
why
maybe
I say
and
Zach
maybe it's
doesn't learn
and maybe it's
anything.
and maybe it's just the both of us. But if a woman was doing it to another man in the closet and I found out about it, it would be a wrap. That's all she
Right.
wrote. Good night. It would
Like
be a
Zach,
whole wrap out here. Like
Zach don't learn. He don't because
thumbs up the
everybody
live to
always
people.
forgive him for whatever he do. That's why he will never learn anything because he always get forgiven. Fatima,
Correct.
You knew when he had sex with Karen in that office. That that, that was enough. Like, I'm sorry, I can't deal with no man that entertain his ex on that kind of basis. I I
Right.
don't mind my man being friends with his ex or whatever, but all of this, he's having sex, he's entertaining what she wants, he do, he giving her closure. But Fatima, let go and let God, because if his ex is that involved in his life, it is not worth it for you to deal with mess that you didn't have to deal with before. You had to deal with that. I'm gonna get into a personal story real quick. I've been in that situation before. When I got with this guy on this camera, I was still like friends, or I guess you could say dealing with my ex in some capacity. And he was fine with it at first because he's not one of them guys to be like, hey, we together now. You can't deal with nobody that's before me. I'm here, yada yada. But it started to take a toll because the friendship or whatever was going on with my ex was becoming too much, because he felt like it was okay to ask me for things even though I was in a relationship with somebody
And
else.
he felt like it was okay to ask her to do sexual favors.
He felt like it was okay for that. He felt like it was okay to have as much of my time as he wanted, because me and him dated before me and Ralph did. So he felt like, hey, we've been in each other's lives for years, yada yada. And like I said, at first Bay was fine with it, but then it got to the point to where the man was calling me at all hours of the night. Anytime he needed anything, hey B, do. And he would say stuff like, I don't really respect people's relationships like that, and yada yada yada. So then it got to a point to where I didn't want to let him. I didn't want to let my ex go for the simple fact of I didn't want to be looked at like, oh, you met some new man and now you just cutting off your day ones and yada yada yada. So I kept hanging with him. I kept hanging with him, and we kept being friends. I lost my whole relationship because of that. So he had to go away in order for me to get my life back on track. My ex had to go sit down. And at first I was like, my ex ain't really doing nothing. They just tripping. They just trying to be controlling. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just met this man. He not finna control me. He not finna tell me what to do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I started to look at it differently when my ex started to become very problematic. I mean, it got to the point to where it was just ridiculous. And he was fine with it. My ex was fine with, you know,
And it got so bad to the point where I would go to work because I did work. I would go to work and then he'd be like, "Let's get it. Let's do a little something, something, right?" He won't know he at work, and then she was like, "I would know." And at that point, I was like, you gotta stop talking to him. I wasn't doing that, but when he started doing that, I was like, oh hell no. Hell no.
and it's
Oh.
like it got to the point to where he would give me advice about, don't let this man control you. You just met him. You don't really know him like that. You know me since I was a kid. Yada yada yada. You ain't gotta listen to what he wants, because I did eventually tell my ex like, hey, my shawty don't feel comfortable with me talking to you as much as we do. And his response was like this: you ain't gotta listen to him. That nigga ain't your daddy. He can't tell you what to do. You just met him. You known me since I was a kid. Yada yada yada. Who is he to tell you what to do? And I'm like, hey man, I'm just telling you how that man feel, bro. I
And another
look
thing, he would send her like disrespectful text messages.
because then when I started to stand up for my relationship and be like, no, that's not appropriate. You can't do that. He would go into these rants about, oh, you changed. You ain't the same since you met him. You used to do stuff for me whenever I asked. Now you got a problem with that. And it ain't you, it's him. And you letting him influence you and yada, yada, yada. So I had to go through all that. But I realized that my ex was going to be fine as long as I didn't stand up for my relationship. He was going to be fine because he was benefiting from me just doing whatever I wanted to do. From me not listening to my man, my ex was benefiting from it. So of course he wanted me to keep not listening to him because he was benefiting. Of course, why would you not when you benefit? You know you don't want your benefit cut off. And you know he doesn't know Ralph from Adam, but he always looked at him as the dude that stood in his way. He don't know nothing about him. He only had
But
like,
but I didn't stand. First off, first off, I didn't stand in no way because you didn't want to be with him from the get go because you felt like he was being disrespectful. Am I correct?
I mean, yeah, you right. But the reason he feels that is or felt that is because he looks at you as the reason I didn't go back. Because y'all,
But
if y'all don't know me, I go back a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I do. I'm always open for reconciliation. And me and my ex did this carousel for 10 years. We break up for 6 months, we back together. We break up for 6 months, we back together. Now, I had never met a man during this time. We would just break up and give it, but since I met him, I felt like, maybe not. And he like, man, if it wasn't for him, we'd be back together. If it wasn't for him, if you didn't fall in love with him. And it's like, yeah, but no. Because I always want my exes as my friends. But I realize that they have to stay my friend. They can't jump out the box. But to get back to the show, like Fatima, that can't be no situation where his ex is just jumping out the box and running amok. Like that's got to be controlled. And then the situation with Andy and Gary. Look, Andy, if you ain't gonna get rid of Gary, leave Robin alone. You need to Robin is into things that you're clearly not into. And you're starting to sound a lot like Sabrina with this whole Calvin situation. And you just need to let go and let Jesus. Because you and Gary do this toxic cycle of I'm mad at you. And when I'm not mad at you, I love you. No, that ain't the way to go. Either pee or get off the pot.
that's how I feel.
Because let me tell you something. You being mad at your partner is not a license to do whatever you want to do just because you're pissed off. Because when you're not pissed off anymore, you're still going to have to face the consequences of what you did. So never do things out of anger. If you want to be done with Gary, fine, be done with him. But don't mess with Robin just because you're mad at Gary. That's not fair. because you don't want him. You just mad at Gary. And that's a waste of everybody's time because we all know when you feel better and you not mad at Gary no more, you gonna want him.
Exactly.
So that's why I say never do things out of anger because if you hurt somebody out of anger when you're no longer pissed off, you still have to face the fact that you hurt that person. But just because you over it and you feel better don't mean that person's gonna be over it and feel better. So you gotta be real careful with what you do when you angry. That's not a license to go and do whatever you want. That many people think it is, and their main excuse will be like, "Well, I was upset." When you're upset, you still have to think, will this destroy my relationship? You
No,
still have to
it's
think
not even about that. Like with me and my staff, I choose my battles wisely. So when I get upset, I have to cry. I have to do something. I have to count to 10 when I get upset with them.
because this this toxic cycle. If this toxic cycle were to stop, you and Gary would actually have a healthy relationship. But y'all don't want to stop the cycle. It's like y'all like this push pull, push pull, push pull. Y'all like all that. And for whatever reason, I don't know why, y'all give me Calvin and Miranda vibes. It's like
I
either
w- I
please
was just getting ready to say that.
or get off the either get married or get off the pot. Like Gary, you've been talking about you got your own apartment for five, count them, five, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I called the picture live, 5 episodes now, and you still at Andy house. Why
And if
are you
you
there?
uh, like, I don't know about nobody else, but if I have my own place, I don't want to be nowhere else but at my house.
Why is it that you are at this woman's house like this? And she keep telling you, get out, Gary, get out, Gary, Gary, get out. And when she come back home, hey, she just fool, thumped you in the head. She just told you get out before she left. Now she done came back home and you just like, oh hey, how you doing? You not supposed to be here, fool. Get out. Bye. You don't live here, sir. Like you told me I got my own place, it'll be done in a few days, I'll be out of here. You told me that 40 years ago and
The
you
girl.
still here. Bye, Gary. Bye bye, Gary. Bye bye. Don't forget the right. Matter of fact, you might want to forget the right because no man. Sabrina and Calvin. I'm so tired of Sabrina and Calvin.
Yeah,
I'm so
I am too. I am too. Because first off, Sabrina. I know I just did that, but Sabrina, you're really getting on my nerves. You're getting on my nerves because you don't accept him. So leave him the fuck alone. Please. Please, I beg you. Please, I beg you. And if you, I swear to fucking God, excuse me, Lord. If you still talking about Kelvin and how he do things, I'm not gonna watch this show no more. Because like
this is the problem. If you still talking about in season 4 how you're going to do this whole pegging situation and how you're just gonna give it a go and girl, you're not into that. Just like Andy is not into that threesome she had with Robin. She don't want no woman. You could tell how uncomfortable she was in that scene. That's why she had to get drunk. Cause she can't do that sober. She not bi. She not gay. She not none of that. That's why she told him that she didn't think she wanted to do that no more. Because every woman, Tyler Perry, let me tell you something. Every woman is not curious about another woman. Now there are women that are. I'm not saying that it isn't. I'm not saying that it isn't. But every woman is not into all of that. So what is the point of Andy being with Robin when Robin is into threesomes and God knows whatever else, Mr. 50 Shades of Grey? Like,
That's what I gotta watch. I see 50 Shades of Grey, but I'm gonna have to watch that again because
I don't understand why Sabrina and Andy do things that they're clearly not into. Clearly not.
I don't understand it either. And
Like,
like I said, if Sabrina come back for
season
season
4.
season 4 and she's still talking about the same shit, I'm not reviewing this show. I'm gonna tell or better yet, I'm gonna give Brittany the okay to just review the show and I'm out because I'm tired of it.
And Tyler Perry, every man that's into certain sexual things, he's not gay. You've been trying to make this man gay since season 1. He's not gay. If the man says he's not gay, he's not gay. Because him and Danny had that conversation and she was just like, well, I don't want you to wake up 10 years later and decide you want a man. Danny, if the man wanted a man, he'd have probably got one already. Let it go. You can't make it's almost like y'all trying to make him gay or something. That's
Right.
not that's not what if the man say that's not what he is, you have to take him at his word. And if you can't take him at his word, then something wrong with you, not him. Everybody does certain things sexually or whatever. That doesn't always equate to oh he gay or he bi or he da. You you don't you don't have to equate those things to those words all the time. Now sometimes when men do certain things that do make them bi or that do make them gay, but not every man is gay, not every man is bi. It-
Right.
it's some men that are straighter as an arrow that are just into certain things. Why do we have to label these people gay or bi to justify what they're into? I don't understand why we have to. Oh well, if you're into that, you gotta be gay, or if you're into that, you gotta be. Why? Why does that have to? The guy on 50 Shades of Grey was into a whole lot of stuff. Ain't nothing gay about him. So I don't understand why just because you're into certain things sexually, you have to be gay. Like the man in 50 Shades wanted plugs up his butt. That don't make him gay at all. He didn't have not one scene with a man at all. But he liked these things inserted into his anal cavity. I mean, hey, listen, you gotta learn to accept people as a whole, no matter what they is. Now, if that makes your stomach hurt that somebody's gay or somebody's bi, then you don't have to be around that person. Because you know what I hate people say? People be like, I don't have a problem with gays or bi. I don't have a problem with those people. I just don't want to see them kissing and hugging and oh, so you don't have a problem, but you don't want to see them being affectionate. That's homophobic.
Yep.
Like when you start talking about, oh, I don't want to see them kissing Why not? You just said you don't have a problem with it. So
No,
what?
no,
What?
because they feel like that should be in the privacy of their own bedroom.
A kiss though?
Like,
Come on,
yes, they
come
feel like
on.
they feel like they feel like if you're kissing another man, that should be in the privacy of your own bedroom. Now, me,
Listen,
I don't feel that way. Me, I
listen,
don't give a fuck. I
listen,
would, I, I would say something, but you know what? Fuck it.
listen. I am not into women whatsoever on that level. But in the event that I was, and I'm out with my woman, I'm gonna kiss my woman. I don't care. Like, like you're not gonna shame me into not showing my mate affection. Like, that's not gonna happen. Like, cause even with him, he be like, "Oh, people gonna be looking at us." I'm like, what? Bye. Like, but babe, when they see two people in a wheelchair, they be looking at us. I'm like, okay, that's what people got iPhones for. He's like, but if they say something to us, then I'm gonna go off, and then I'm gonna have to do the do. And I'm like, child, I ain't think about none of that. I ain't think about that. Like, I've always had the confidence of I don't care. And you can love it, you can hate it, you can stand on your head, you can do whatever you want, because you have the right to react whatever way you want to react. But I'm gonna hold his hand. I'm gonna kiss him. I'm gonna hug him. I'm gonna do it all.
Hey,
Look
CC,
away,
uncut.
look away. And he's like, you just have so much confidence, and you just walk around like you have a care in the world. Because I don't. I don't. I don't care. Look at him. He's fine. You think I'm not gonna kiss? You think I'm not gonna kiss that child? Please. I don't care about these people looking. They're like they looking at us. Yeah. And your problem is what?
How
Like
have you been? I've been good. I mean, I've been okay. Um, I recently had like a pressure sore, but I'm at the end of it, so I say I'm 94 to 95, 94 to 95% healed. And I just did vlogmas and I talked about it in the vlogmas, so check it out. It is day 6. So go on over there and check that out.
because not only am I his lover or whatever you want to call it, that's also my friend. We've been locked in way before we even did all this, that, and the third. But that's just the type of person I am, and that is what I've been trying to teach him for the past 6 going on 7 years. You ain't gotta roll with your head down about nothing, cause it's your life, and you only get to go around once. So hell, and I wanted to talk about this because we pretty much covered everything that happened in the episode. So y'all know how we do when we finish early. We start shooting the bullets, as I call it. And I wanted to talk about this because I was thinking about this. Um, he is the is the poster child for how to not treat children, because he is what you get when your kids grow up the way that he has. This is how you come out. I don't want to say messed up, but mentally scarred. And I always say, if I ever have kids, like if I ever adopt a kid or have a kid to term, whatever the case may be, he is the poster child for how I'm not going to treat my kids because the way he got treated after his grandmother and mother died, I'm surprised he's still here. You know,
Can you repeat that statement? Cause I put you on mute by accident.
all right, I'm gonna repeat what I said. Like, if I ever have kids, like if I ever adopt a child or have a kid to term, he is the blueprint of how I'm not going to treat my kids. Because this is why he's so, like I said, I don't want to say messed up, but the way he got treated after his mom and his great grandma died, it's just atrocious. Like, he made a life out of nothing, really, if we're being honest with ourselves. Because I'm not saying you supposed to overlove your children and all that kind of stuff. But to watch how my baby gets treated by his family and how he's been treated by his family for most of his life, not all, but since 2007. Let's just start there. That's when his mom passed away. R.I.P. Cookie, rest up, rest easy. Um, it's like no, the things his family did to him and currently do to him, I would never do to my child. And people always talk about what they'll never do. But seeing my babe go through some of the things I've seen him go through family wise, it make me want to hug every kid in America and say, you know what, it's gonna be all right. Because his family is the reason why he has some of the toxic traits that he's working on. Because the way his family talk to him and the way they look at his feelings and the way they thumb their nose up at him is the reason why he went out here in the world and made some of the choices. Not all. Now some of the choices was on him and he just did that. But childhood trauma plays a factor in your decision making to an extent because he went out here and picked the wrong people to date. He picked the wrong friends. He did a lot of wrong because he came from a household where he didn't matter once his grandma died. Once she died, went up to the sky, again, rest peacefully, rest easy. Once she died, yes, his brother took care of him physically and, let him stay with him and all that. But mentally, oh boy, oh baby, he messed that baby up. He messed that baby up.
And he still say fucked up shit to me.
But that is the reason why he ran into the people he ran into. Because let me tell you something, when you grow up with people dismissing you and talking to you in a foul way, you gonna run into some people that you know ain't good for you. But you feel like you ain't no good, so you don't really care if they ain't good for you or not. At least they here. You adopt that mentality. Because I'm gonna tell you something. He's a nice. God, love him to death, in love with him, all that good stuff. But when he mad or he's severely not in the right headspace, he could say some things that if you don't know no better, they'll cut you. If you don't know what he going through and you don't know that he's saying these things because of what he going through, you probably want to punch him in the throat. But me, I know better because I know what he go through, so I don't take it that personally. But he say things when he go through things that will make you look like, who in the hell do this nigga think he is for real? Because I'm gonna tell you something. There was a point in time earlier this year where he was feeling down and all of that stuff. And he was saying, sometimes I feel like the world would be better if I just ended my life. Now, man, you when he was talking about this, we was not together at this time when he was saying all this stuff. I'm gonna do a story time about that too and how we got things back right. We gonna talk about that too, but we ain't gonna talk about it in this video. But anyway, we was not together at this particular time. And I said, you know, so you just, ending your life is not the answer. Ooh, you can't just end your life, that's not gonna help. Ending your life ain't gonna help. And I'm like, so you just gonna leave me down here by myself? Like that? That's how you gonna check out? And he was like, well, we not together, so it ain't about you. And I'm like, it took everything in me not to reach through the other end of the phone and take whatever dreads he had in his head out because you you can't do that. You can't cut people. Um, you can't cut people that you can't cut people open for no reason. But luckily, I'm trained in this situation and I know how to handle people like this. I know how to handle people like this very well. And I don't take the things he says when he's depressed or not in the right headspace personally because I know he says those things because he's going through things. But if you didn't know him and he said some of that to you, you want to slap the hell out of him in my Medea voice. You probably want to slap the hell out of him. But I understand because his family, now, y'all hold on tight because the people, the people that I'm going to be tied to the rest of my life, when I tell you these people have some toxic ways, they ain't toxic people, but they got some toxic ways, honey. I'd be like, babe, those, that's your family. Like they say, that's your friend. I ain't got nothing to do with them because he, he he doesn't have a lot of his brother's traits at all. But one trait he does have is that he know how to cut you. And baby, I'm a woman of God. I love everybody in the world, but some of that stuff, made me want to cut Raphael's eyeballs out of his whole head. Like, nigga, I get you sad and all, but who do you think you are, Mr. Big Stuff? Hey, come on, man. I get you sad and all, but we gonna have to cut. Now he ain't did that to me in a long time, so it's been a long, long time. But it's been some times where I be like, Lord, give me all the strength. And I know he don't mean it in that way, so I don't take it that personal. But his upbringing called us that because they walked around not paying no attention to him. This man said he thought about ending his life when he was about 17, 18 years old. Nobody said, why do you want to end your life? Why do you want to do the do? His brother literally sat there and was mocking as if he took a whole bunch of pills and was dying. Like, that's how they received the news of my brother want to kill himself. That's how he took that news. He took that news and was like, he made satire out of his brother wanting to kill himself. Like, you can't get no more toxic than that. Now, y'all, I'm a very funny individual. I make a lot of jokes. Some of them are appropriate, some of them are inappropriate. But I would never make jokes about somebody wanting to kill it. Like some stuff just you know. So because he has that, and people look at his pain as some sort of comic relief or whatever it is, he cuts people not on purpose, but he cuts people at times. And how you learn that is how he grew up. Cause when you have people walking around doing that to you gonna feel like don't nobody really care about me that much. So if I cut somebody, hey, people been cutting me all my life. And that used to be his thing. Like, I don't mean to hurt nobody, but people been hurting me all my life. And I'm like, well, that's because you you learn things based on how you grow up. And all he needed was somebody to love him. Like, that's all he really needed. Like,
But my family, they love me. They just they have a funny way of showing it, I guess.
but it's like, babe, your pain is not your pain should, even if you don't agree with why he's in pain or whatever, it's still supposed to be, hey, you can't tell that man he not in pain. You can't tell that man he not hurt. You can't tell that man his depression is not real. You can't tell him that because y'all are his blood. And the fact that I care about his feelings more than his own blood is retarded. That I just met this man 6 years ago. He's known them his whole life.
And that's the fucked up part.
Like that's why you gotta be careful of what you do to your siblings because history is going to repeat itself. And now I'm in no way, shape, or form saying he mean or he this, but he got that because of the way his family treat him. He cut people sometimes because of the way he grew up being cut. He don't mean that it's not on purpose, but he can cut into you and really be cold about it because when his family cut into him, they cold as ice bucket. They don't give no reprieve. They don't give no benefit of the doubt. No nothing.
Nah, nah, they don't give me shit.
They
Tell the tell them about the time Baker called me when I was in the hospital.
now this man was in the entire hospital sick or whatever. And again, we was not together when he was in the hospital. But I always told him my love for him is bigger than us being together and all this yada yada. So I was in his life still, even though we wasn't together. He's in the hospital and he's, upset because he's in there in the first place. He's angry. So he gets a call from a family friend of the Hardwick family, long time family friend. He didn't know that he was in the hospital. So somebody had to tell him, which we'll get to that in a minute. So he calls him and was like, "Yeah, your aunt told me, dude, you was in the hospital. What you doing in there? You do. And see, this is why you need to be with your people and da da da. You need to be with your family." And he just going in. And I'm just sitting there like, and he was explaining to him, like, I can't be with my family. I can't be with Kevin. Me and Kevin, we don't get along like that. That was the gist of what he was saying. Like, it's not good for me to be with my family neither because me and my brother don't get along and yada yada yada. That man didn't care about nothing Raphael was talking about, even when he explained it to him. He still said, forget all that. Y'all gotta put that aside and you gotta go live with your like that's the toxicity that this man come from. And it got to the point to where the nurses was like, yo, you gotta calm down because your blood pressure is doing some things and you're going to have to relax. Because he was just so upset because he explained verbatim why he didn't want to live with his brother. And it still got dismissed. Like, yeah, I get all that, but and it's like that's been the story of his life. Nobody takes his feelings seriously. They they look at it like no matter what, family first. Whatever goes on. It's family over everything, no matter what. And that's not there. And I was just talking to him yesterday about a situation with his older sister where she don't come to visit him. Now, she calls him every now and then or whatever. He recently said, I miss you, sis. I love you, sis, which was fine. But my thing was this. And she said, I miss you too, brother. The reason that bothered me is because I felt like if you really miss them, there is a such thing as going down there. I mean, you're right there. Like you don't have to miss him. Like you don't have to. And y'all, I'm not trying to make this about me in no way, shape, or fashion, because it's really not. Because he made a comment to me like, well, since my sister don't come down here, I'ma just go down to my sister's house. And I said, absolutely not. Because when I wasn't coming over there, you wasn't making that concession for me about, oh, I know you don't come around, but I'll just come over your house. You ain't do
Nope.
that for you ain't do that for me.
Nope.
And you didn't say, well, I know she don't come around, so I'll just go over there. No, no, we not gonna play the bias because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Now, I've seen him more times than his sister has this year. And that don't make no sense because you right
And
there.
I'm going over yours for Christmas. So
And he's spending Christmas with me and my family because One, I want to see my baby. Two, they don't make an effort to say, well, why don't we have Rappy L over for Christmas? I know he can't get in the house, but we can figure something out. You know, I get it. Like, I understand, because I really can't get in my brother's house, but I got people that'll lift me up in there and do all that there. Now, he don't have it, but it's the thought for me. It's the thought for me. Like, even if you can't get in there, just say, I want to see my brother for Christmas. Come on over. I make you some food. It's the invitation and the thought for me. He don't even have to go. Just, you know, and I said, you know what? I'm going out of town in June. I wanna spend I wanna spend the holidays with Babe, cause guess what, y'all? My baby about to go back to school next month. And don't worry, I'm not sad, cause I'm gonna be seeing him a lot now that I go to his crib. I'm gonna be seeing him a lot, so I ain't gotta be sad about him going to school no more. Um, but the thing is that he always says, "Well, that's how my family is, and that's just what they do, and all that kind of stuff." And
It is.
I
I
said, but
can't. Just like it's the same thing from my daddy's side of the family. They don't call me. They don't do nothing. I thought about calling my grandmama a couple days ago, but then I was like, no, because she know how to call all her other grandchildren, and I know that may seem like because she's older and blah blah blah, but I'm tired.
the difference between me and his people is that when I'm not doing right, I can acknowledge that, hey, man, I'm not doing the right thing. These people look him dead in the face and be looking at him as if like, what you talking about? Like, it's always what he didn't say. Because the first thing his sister will say is, well, he never said that. He ain't never say nothing. So we just didn't do it. He shouldn't have to say nothing. You know you ain't seen the man in months.
Babe, I'm
Hmm.
about to be right back.
I
All right. Stay on here. Talk to the people.
I always stay on here. You know I don't
Or
never
do you
go
want me
nowhere.
to end it?
Nah, I talk to the folks, man.
Okay.
Like, I'm just saying, like, you ain't seen the man in months. So, it's just a point of invite him, include him, make him feel like something. And I I try to do that as much as I can. And I want him to have a better relationship with his family. Because like I said, his brother will say things that cut and he'll act like he didn't say nothing to you. Like, and I'm just glad I could help, you know, Bay out with spending time with him. because spending time with him is very important. Because because I love him, you know. You know. He shouldn't have to tell you that he miss you. You know what I'm saying? Like you, you just, you know, you gotta read the room and take initiative on certain things. That's how you gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? So, and Bay is back on the screen. Bay, you about to eat, ain't you?
Yeah, I want to get off here now so I can tell my stud when you send me.
All right, y'all. Look, we'll promise that we'll do next week's review on time. Cause due to the holidays, you know, the holidays are coming up. Plus, Sisters is about to end, but don't worry, we'll still have more content coming, even with the show ending. And we will hit the ground running again with the Sisters reviews on January 5th, cause that's when season 4 starts. I know, right? But we still got one episode after this week, so we will have a review up on the 17th. And we will have another review up on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve. Yeah, I said Christmas. I'm country. Leave me alone. Yeah, we're gonna have a review up on Christmas Eve. But I'm gonna let my baby go eat. I done ate already, y'all. So I'm full. We'll see y'all in the next video. And yeah, the next video, we're gonna do a story time. The next video gonna be a story time. Hey, what's going on, man? What's going on? The viewer that said something in the comments. Ooh, my baby skin is doing all kinds of stuff today. It's doing the looking like a whole pack of butter pecan ice cream. I'm not going there. But y'all, the next video gonna be a story time. And it's gonna be a juicy video, y'all. And I'ma leave the video because this video about me, bitch. But yeah, we gonna see y'all in the next. We gonna see y'all in the next video. Hey, babe, you wanna before we cut the cord, cut the lights off, or as my guy Lamar said in Power Book Two, not Power Book Two, wrong show, BMF. As my man Lamar said in BMF, before we cut the water off, do you want to give out your social media platforms where the people can find you, follow you, all that stuff? If y'all want to follow Bay, follow his he has a Facebook addiction, so you might want to follow him over there because he be posting with the owls and don't nobody be up and he just be posting anyway. Follow his Facebook, his real name, his name his mama gave him. Yeah, that's his Facebook right there. And then his Instagram is Anthony7701. That's his birthday. Don't ask me why he chose his middle name. I don't know, child. But Anthony7701 is my baby Instagram. He usually posts every night that he's up. Cause like I said, he be up with the owls hooing. Twitter at King Ralph07. That's his Twitter. He don't really be tweeting no more, y'all. He don't tweet no more.
I don't.
We used to have. We got so many stories. You know what? Next week after Christmas, we gonna do the end of the year video, and we gonna throw a couple story times in the end of the year video. Cause we got so many story times. It's retarded. Like we retarded. But I'm gonna let Bay go eat now. If y'all wanna follow me on Facebook, it's my birth name. I don't really like saying my name, but add me at Brittany Frederick on Facebook. Add me Brittany the Dream on Twitter and Instagram. And I do have a snap, but hey, my snap is for my homies and them. But we'll see y'all in the next video. Bye bye, y'all.
Bye bye.